Assalamualaikum. Hi guys. I guess welcome to my first video of my pregnancy or mom story series. I have several video planned for this, but for today I'm actually going to do the most requested and promised to you guys, which is my labor story. So if you wanna find out how Orked comes to the world, then stay tuned and find out. Okay, so I have all my points on my phone right here. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. So I'm going to start with my pre-labor, which is my 39th week checkup on the 22nd of April. It's a Tuesday. So my 40th week mark, the due date for Orked is actually on the 25th of April, which is Sunday of that week. I went in for my final checkup on that Tuesday and did a vaginal sweep. I was 1 cm dilated, and my cervix is quite still quite stiff, keras. So the doctor is me and my doctor is quite close. So I told her from the start that I wanted a natural birth, and I want to try to go without any intervention whatsoever. So she's okay with that because I don't have any complication in my pregnancy. And so when we went in for the 39th week checkup, she's quite worried because the baby is already quite big, and it's approaching my due date, but there's no active labor happening, so there's no contraction. I have very sparse, very mild contraction here and there for 1 week or 2 weeks before my checkup, but there's nothing strong enough for me to start timing. So after my checkup at the hospital, I went back and I did everything that people talk about to speed up contractions. So I did some yoga, I did lunges, I bounced on the birth ball, I eat spicy food, I drink the raspberry leaf tea. You know, I try everything. I do lunges on the stairs because my house has stairs, so I do some lunges, but there's no contraction, but it's okay. Still, Alhamdulillah. After everything that happened, comes Thursday, and my doctor says on Thursday, if it's 24th of April, so if there's nothing happening, Thursday night I have to be admitted so that I can be induced, because the baby is already quite big and she don't want to risk having the baby berak dalam perut. So I had to be warded and admitted on Friday night, which is the 24th of April. So I checked in to the ward on Friday night, 9 p.m. on the 24th of April, 23rd of April, and I was induced around 11 p.m. So when I was induced, they inserted the pill into my vagina, and they did a sweep as well before that. So that experience I hated, because I stayed there for around 2 to 3 days. So I had a total of 5 different people, including my doctor, my OBGYN, sweeping my vagina. So there's 4 nurses and 1 doctor keep coming and checking how dilated I am and do some stretches. It was not pleasant, and I can actually tell you, between these 5 people, there are skills on how to do that, because some people do it so painfully and some people just it's uncomfortable, but it's not too bad. So okay, anyway, I was swept before the induction happened. So at 11 p.m. it's still at 1 centimeter dilation, with 0% phase. It's still quite stiff. So they put in the pill and I started getting some contractions. So I'm thinking, okay, something is happening, so the baby will come, and my contraction is quite close together, so it's like 45 seconds contraction, 2 minutes apart and 3 minutes apart, which is really tough to go through, but the contractions are not too bad. So that happened for 4 to 5 hours, and then come morning my contractions start to stop. So in the morning, I think around 5 a.m, another nurse came and gave me a vaginal check again, and I'm 2 cm dilated. 6 hours later, I'm still at 2 cm, but you know, I'm still quite positive. I'm trying to stay positive at least. I'm telling myself that it's gonna happen, and I'm in a safe environment. You know, the nurses are here, the doctors are here, so if anything happened to me, there's always option. But already I was induced, so I'm trying very hard to stay positive, because this is not the birth plan that I had. I wanted a natural birth, but after the second vaginal check, I was quite sad. But the nurses and the doctor is saying that the contraction is still there, it's just that it's not too strong, so I can still try to accommodate or try to help the contraction to happen, which is bouncing on the ball, do the lunges, walk around, all that. So I did that for a whole day, and then the doctor came about again the next night, which is on Sunday, 24 hours later, and did another pill into my vagina. So another vaginal sweep at 2 cm dilated. So an entire day passed, and I went through all this contraction for nothing, because my dilation is still at 2 cm. And then they inserted another pill in my vagina, hoping that will kind of speed up the process. So on Saturday, I keep on doing all that. You know, I had some bleeding happening, but and the contraction is really still very near, close to each other. So it's 45 second contraction and 2 to 3 minutes apart, which is really intense and really close. So I was like, again, I was given this hope that, okay, I don't need painkillers, because I wasn't taking any painkillers at the time. I can do this. If you know, we were told that contractions, when they are intense and they are very close together, then labor is impending. So I cannot remember what time, because at this point time really doesn't matter to me anymore. The doctor came, the nurse came, did another sweep of my vagina, and I was at 3 cm. 36 hours later, I'm still at 3 cm, and the nurse had to like help me stretch. So she was saying that it was 3 cm, I'll give a bit of stretch, we can get around 4 cm, but it's still a long way to go. So after that, at 4 cm, they start to push me to the labor room. So I went to the labor room. Before that, I requested for an injection of painkiller. I think that was a bad choice, because that injection makes you very drowsy, so I wasn't able to help speed up my labor. I cannot do any exercise or whatever at 4 cm, so I was just laying on the bed with the ECG machine on my belly. So I was pushed to the labor room, and then around on Sunday, 5 a.m. of sort, I was pushed to the labor room, and they did another vaginal sweep to check my opening, and it's still at 3 to 4 centimeters, and my water broke. And when my water broke, they saw that there's meconium in it, so that means the baby pooped already in my belly. So this is on her due date, which is on the 25th of April. And then the doctor came when I said I wanted another shot of that painkiller, because my contraction is really close together and super intense. I'm telling you, I thought I'm gonna die. I really thought I'm gonna die. I told Umar, like, you know, I'm sorry, because he was there. Alhamdulillah, he was able to be in the labor room. And then my doctor came and said that she's not able to prescribe another shot of painkiller because she's saying that I need to go for an emergency C-section. That is when I thought all is lost, and I started crying really badly. And then I told Umar, this is not what I wanted, you know, I wanted a natural birth. I want Umar to be there and, you know, sambut Orked and clamp her cord and everything. I had all this plan in my head, but you know, Allah is the best planner. So after my doctor told me that we need to go in emergency C-section, they prepped me for operation. So they told me all the complication and everything. So the doctor is giving me two options, which is epidural, which is half body, I will be awake, or full anesthetic, general anesthetic. So I will be asleep during the operation and just awake, be awakened a few hours later after baby is out. But I wanted to see Orked sort of exit my body. I want to be awake, so I opted in for epidural. And then Umar can't come for the operation. He can't be in there, although he had the COVID test and everything. They still didn't allow him in the operating theater, so I was alone during the operation. On Sunday 12:16 p.m, Cut Orked binti Teuku Ilany is born through emergency C-section. The nurse took the Cut Orked to her dad, which is downstairs, so to azan and command and everything, to meet her dad. And then they wear me off epidural, and then they gave me morphine for the pain, and then they sew me up. I was awake the whole time, and I can see them doing that. I mean, there's a cloth, but I can feel the tugging and the sewing and everything. They sew me up, and then they push me back to the ward. I stayed in the hospital for another 2 days. I didn't see her for, I think, about half an hour or 45 minutes after that, because they took her to the nursery to nurse her, to feed her, and then bring her back to me to meet again, to just be with her. And then they taught me how to breastfeed and everything. And then yeah, so we went home on Tuesday morning after the surgery on Sunday, and Monday and Tuesday is just us. It's just the doctor making sure that everything is okay for baby and also for me. So Alhamdulillah, for Orked, she don't have demam kuning. She didn't have jaundice. It's really low, minimal. So she didn't need any phototherapy. So she just had to come home with me on Tuesday morning. So yeah, now it's 1 month ish. It's more than 1 month. It was 1 month on Sunday, and today is a Friday, so it's 1 month and 1 week since the beranak. So my luka already is better. I can already do daily things. I actually developed carpal tunnel during my 3rd trimester. I'm going to have that surgery tomorrow to have my nerve adjusted or whatever, but I have carpal tunnel on both my hands. And Orked as well, Alhamdulillah, she's exclusively on breast milk, but she is not direct latching. When she was born, she was fed with bottle, so her first feeding was through bottle, and then afterwards her mouth is really small, so she can't direct latch because her mouth is smaller than the teeth. I don't know how to say it. So she can't latch, but now after a month she's a bit bigger. She's able to latch, but she still prefers the bottle versus direct latching, which is fine. I pump every 2 to 3 hours, and I feed her exclusively breast milk for now. But sometimes my supply is not as much, so I'll give her formula as well. But mostly it's breast milk. Alhamdulillah. So yeah, that is my whole labor story for you guys. I don't know how to really frame it, but it was really, really hard. I mean, for me, the pregnancy part and the labor part is tough. When I was in the hospital during the contractions, the pain, before I get the painkiller, I was not on painkiller for about 30 hours of contractions. It was the single most painful thing that I've ever experienced, given that I didn't actually deliver her vaginally. So contraction is really the worst thing that I've ever felt. And the fact that all that build up, all that pain that I endured just to, just for me to be operated on, is really frustrating. But at the end of the day, it's for we made the decision based on what's best for Orked and what's best for me. So Alhamdulillah, Orked is here now 1 month later. So yeah, that's the story of my labor. I have a few more video lined up for you guys, so stay tuned. Thank you so much for listening to my story. I hope it helps. I don't know how it will help people, but I hope it gives you a perspective, I guess, or an idea of what will happen. But for me, I wanted natural birth, but I ended up getting an emergency C-section. So that was fun. See you guys on the next video, inshallah. Okay.